Woof. So, this is not a dog costume. This is a kangaroo costume, but it kind of looks like a dog, so that helps with my point. Alright, here's my hot take. Ready? As a 4'11 guy, Chihuahuas make me sad. Because not only do I understand the downside to being short, I also understand what it feels like to be defined by how short you are. Number 1. What is this? The Chihuahua is a saucy little hot tamale, and not just because of his association with a certain fast food Mexican restaurant. He's renowned for being the world's smallest dog, but he may well have the world's biggest personality stashed inside that tiny body. That larger-than-life persona makes him appealing to men and women alike. Dogtime.com. Wow, that's kind of poetic. And a nightmare, all the same. The larger-than-life persona. It's like someone spun me around, pointed, and went, "It's you. You're the saucy little hot tamale." Except not as appealing, because you can't fit a person into a purse. Of course, I had to read too much into the feelings this little dog stirs up, because of course I did. 2. Why am I writing this? I was leaned against a window one day, listening to my friend talk about how much he hated Chihuahuas. He said they were too small, too aggressive, not real dogs. And my heart went out to the poor animal. You know, I said, they didn't choose to be that small. How can you hate something for what they can't control? And he laughed. I knew that's why you like them. You're short. And then the existential spiral happened, which landed me here, typing this essay, think piece, nightmare, poorly worded mess about how unfair we are to what we consider small. I'm going to try to persuade you, and you might not like that, so here's how I plan to do it. Here's my 4 easy steps, so you can try to stop me. Step 1, dogs. Step 2, fiction. Step 3, personal anecdote. The horror of something rooted in squishy feelings and not hard fact. And 4, conclusion. Number 1, dogs. A dog, broadly speaking, is a domesticated canine creature descended from the wolf. I hate to pull out a definition in an argument because that's cheap. If you ask someone, "What's a life, really?" and they smugly open a dictionary, they kind of miss the point. And I don't want to be that guy, but a dog is a domesticated carnivorous mammal that typically has a long snout and a cute sense of smell, non-retractable claws, and a barking, howling, or whining voice. Thanks, dictionary. There are approximately 340 breeds of dogs, and TBH, you've probably seen one. We have an interesting way of picking out dogs, generally. There are plenty of exceptions. If you adopt dogs from shelters and rescues, that's a very good thing. But this analysis is aimed more at us when we see a picture of a dog and go, "That one, I want it." We get a dog that suits our personality type. We're active, so we want a dog who's big. We're a homebody, so we want a dog who's cuddly, small. We want a corgi because he's cute. We want a poodle because he's elegant. We want a dog because he's fluffy and he'll protect you. We do research on breed personalities, lifespans, their aggression. We see a dog's appearance and size as an extension of what we want. But what does a dog want? Different breeds to different personalities, but ultimately they're dogs. A cute sense of smell, domesticated, barky barks, that kind of thing. I'd like you to indulge in a silly game with me. I'd like you to imagine you're one of those barky, cute doggos. You want to do dog things. You want to drag around big sticks in your jowls and play fetch. You want to roll around in a dog park. You want to protect your human buddy. Now imagine that you're 4 pounds. And people don't want you to play fetch or protect your buddy. They want to put you in a bag. You want to play in the dog park with the other dogs and you get trampled. You want to be a dog. But when you bark like a dog and play like a dog or protect like a dog, people get mad. What's this pipsqueak doing? He's going rogue. He shouldn't act like a dog. He should act like he's small. And it bothers me how much we look at dog breeds as something we want. We made them. They reflect what we want them to. We project how an animal should act based on its appearance alone. And I wonder why that gets under my skin, too. Appearance and media. Book people are nicer. They're less likely to attack, and when they do, it's in cold, unforgiving reviews on Goodreads. Like, have any of you read a Goodreads review? Reviewers there can cut an author to the core without a single insult. Just thousands and thousands of dry academic words and well-thought-out theses aimed at ripping books to absolute molecules. It's kind of horrific. But books are what I'm going to chide today. Just books. In most of the YAs I've read, your character either matches or comes into direct conflict with their appearance. And there's generally little sliding scale between the two. Your tiny girl is cute and needs protecting, or she's a badass who will shatter your jaw. And that character is awesome. Your big battle axe wielder is a hardcore villain, or he's a big softie. Your professor is real strict and a total killjoy, or he's some kind of mentor type and he'll give you some life advice. And hey, these are tools in a wider toolbox. They're tropes that even I use in my writing. They give structure to your characters and add something familiar to give your story a sense of place in the sea of Wattpadian literature. Or they can make your writing wildly cliche and your characters flat and seen before. And if you're using old tropes, you have to watch out even more because you're breathing life into a kind of character that was shaped by the culture of medieval times. You have to be doubly careful what your writing says. All pros and cons. There's nothing inherently bad with them. But have you ever noticed that, a character's personality perfectly matches their appearance most of the time in stories? I don't know, man. It bothers me how many 5'1" girls are cute and bouncy and need protection or act childish. It bothers me how most male heroes never dip below 5'10". And it bothers me how the sidekick's always small and the healer's generally female, how the scary man is big. It's something small, a slight stain you notice on your ceiling. Huh. And then you listen to the way people talk about small dogs. Like the dog itself needs to act less like the canine barky protect doggo it is and accept it's bound by its size. Like it needs to act less like the animal it is inside and more like its appearance. You notice the stain again on your ceiling. And this time it's growing bigger. And it's wet. And then you think about the way people treat you. And the effect their treatment has had on you. You're really short, really short. And you can't escape it. Being short has kind of become wound up in who you are. It's the first thing anyone sees when you walk into a room. Colors what they're going to say to you and how they're going to treat you. Something splatters on your shoulder. And it's warm. And it smells metallic. You look up. There's red dripping from your ceiling. Red? Metallic? Wait, is that blood? Forgive me for being dramatic. Every wannabe writer has to be. It's kind of our calling card. I mean, why say something when you can write 50,000 words that vaguely gestures that we're trying to say? Well, that's dramatic. Keep in mind, I'm just complaining about being short and what that means for me. There's a lot more issues this world has to debate, to solve, and to fight for. But I'm going to use my freedom of speech not for that, but for complaining. And I have so many complaints. So I'm going to bullet point them. 3, 2, 1. I work in childcare. I'm almost always regarded with suspicion when parents first see me. Once when I was at my second job, a child care center at a gym, a mom burst in shouting, "Why is there a child holding my child? Who let a child hold my kid?" Over and over and over again. And it was I, my teen-year-old self, rocking her kid. I've been working in that job for over a year and a half by then. Been working at a prestigious preschool for over 6 months at that time, and it didn't matter, because I'm small. If I had a nickel for every raised eyebrow, every suspicious glance I received from a parent, I'd have, enough nickels to lose and find again and go, wow, that's a lot of nickels. When I go to restaurants with an older person, whether a relative or a friend, the waiter makes a point to give them a check. Anytime I have business to do at a bank, the teller gives me a strange smile and says something along the lines of, Are you sure you're an adult? And I get carded for cashing in $1 winning lottery tickets and milk bottles. When people threaten to beat you up, you kind of have to be extra careful, strategize, and try not to get in a fight. Even though if you're probably just a couple inches taller, you just walk up to them and let it unfold. Being just a little more on guard while you're walking alone at night because your buddies remind you of how easily you'd fit into a trunk and that you're probably super easy to pick up. And would anyone really even put you in a truck? I mean, come on, you're not getting away. You're 11. They'll just. But I'll stop because that's really not why I wrote this. Not because, curse nature, I wish I were taller. I'm writing the lament of the small dog. Of being just a person stuck in a small body and people expecting you to be the cute thing that your size says you should be. Why are you trying to go into that career? Why are you trying to act like them? You're the dog trying to protect their human from intruders when you should be in a purse. 4. Conclusion. When people have a very particular idea of who you should be or you shouldn't be, you end up like the writers figuring out what to do with their tropey characters. Do you play into those expectations, or do you become its very negation? And well, I want to say I've done both. I tried military service to shake people telling me that it was something I couldn't do. I'm always carrying, lifting, trying to show people I'm strong, but also I do play into it. My favorite small guy trope is a sidekick. He's probably younger than the main hero, and that's why he's small, but I've identified with it as long as I can remember. Try to be over silly, try to be a good second fiddle. A larger than life persona, if you will. And I think about that, and it hits me like a hot wind. That paragraph. A saucy little hot tamale, not just because of his association with a certain fast food Mexican restaurant. He's renowned for being the world's smallest man located in Central Virginia. But he may well have the world's biggest personality stashed in that tiny body. The Chihuahua is me, and I am him. He barks, whines, and howls, and I write this shit essay. Thank you guys for listening to this, and sorry for the loss of footage. My Chromebook, which I was recording most of this on, started phasing out quite a bit. Think something's going on with the poor boy, but if you like this, thank you for listening.